Okay, so as you know, I am MJ, Miss MJ. This is my fifth year of English teaching, and this is part four, I think, of my teaching and learning portfolio in the tasks-based method. But this is a part related to diversity, so let's begin. As I mentioned in my past video, I have two sixth grades, and there's a difference in learning ability and speed when answering back and producing English and such. So 6B generally has a better performance when it comes to tests when grading. But since they have standardized tests in their curriculum, they have to take Cambridge exams in primary school and middle school up to sixth grade paid by the school, and then their parents cover it. They have this really high pressure to approve the exam, so their parents know whether to keep on investing on these exams or not. So I went to the American school on Wednesdays, and that was the Cambridge practice day. That was most of my practicum. So we practiced at level A2 flyers Cambridge examinations because that was the requirement for these 12-year-olds. There was a point. Oh, the writing is wrong. There was a point with sixth and A and B where they had to be tested with a mock test, and they were supposed to be told like deliver the percentage to their parents so that they know how they're doing at the middle of the year. And I had a lot of students, because I was in charge of correcting, I had a lot of students from 6A that did not make the percentage because they were lacking the filling in for parts 5, 6, and 7 in the reading and writing task. I understood that it was because of their level. They take more time in reading and actually understanding what they're reading. So I begged the teacher to have them retake at least that last part. And effectively, all of the students had like 5 to to 12% increase, as mentioned here, because I corrected their test. I graded them as well, and none of them got lesser scoring. Like they really needed that extra time in order to be able to read the test at their own speed, at their own level, and they didn't deserve the results that they were going to get without the extra time to fulfill the exam. So these were the percentages that were given to their parents, and more students ended up being able to reach 60%, especially those who were around 50, 55. They could do it. Now, regarding special needs interventions, as you know, I mentioned that I work with Cambridge training, so there's not a lot of differentiation that I can do there. But when students need adecuaciones, you just provide them. So here's what I have. For secrecy purposes, I kept only their initials. We have GA from 9th grade, who is autistic at the level 2. He needs support, but more on the social area than on the functional intelligence area. He's really smart and really well spoken, but he does not do well in every social interaction. He does get overstimulated with noise and such. So, as needed, I would be there working with him one-on-one. Next is MT, another boy from 6th grade A. This kid is really, really sensitive, highly verbal, and required a lot of fidget toys to keep himself entertained and not become overstimulated. He's allowed to walk around in the classroom too. And he seeks a lot of reassurance. He needs to be included. So whenever I could, I had to go and check up on him and praise him for whatever he's doing. Then we have CR from 6th grade B, who has ADHD. This is one of those kids that back then would be called like just very poorly behaved kid, but no, he just has a lot of energy and likes to talk every time spoken to, and sometimes he even starts the conversations. He's really energetic and positive, and the only way that I could redirect him was to joke back with him to make him laugh instead of having him having the class laugh. I made him laugh instead, and then he gets stuck with that one joke, and he's happy for a few minutes, and then open to working class. First, I have the strategies that I used for diverse needs. First of all, as I mentioned, I worked with my 9th grade kid one-on-one whenever needed, but mostly I left him with the group of kids that excelled in English. Why? Just because he has the level to do so, and he's comfortable around his classmates. So I made sure that he had the proper input to work well in English and not be left in groups that are highly talkative and not the best at the level specifically, so that we could get the best out of him. Then we have MT. He was really, really engaged with English and really proud of getting good results and such. So he told me about class ideas that he had, which I did include. He also participated through class activities, which were boring for him. Since he does really good in English, he was a little bored with the format. especially the listening format. So sometimes he does get to do other things, but it's the same task, just redesigned for him to actually be entertained and engage with it. Lastly, we have CR. Generally, so he doesn't get distracted, I have him play with card games that I have, or he also gets to walk around as much as MT does in his class because he needs to get his energy out of himself. That's about it. And aside from the fact that he needs a lot of redirection, like I have to keep one of my eyeballs on him at all times. Then we have the integration of the four language skills. For the three students, I made different things. You can see them here. I mentioned them before too. And as I mentioned before, since my MT student, the sixth grade A boy, got bored sometimes, I gave him extra tasks like draw me a poster of this or talk to me about something you really, really like. And he had like 2 minutes to do so. Um, then since their class know that he's special, he got recognition from them, like by showing his poster to the class. He was very happy about that. Um, for the older boy, the ninth grade boy, he just, as I mentioned, he worked with peers that were on his level of English. He analyzed some sample emails because he had trouble with literality. I have the same issue. Like he understood things exactly as they were supposed to be. When I asked him for an email, he drew the email like the shape of the page of the email open on a PC. So I told them like, okay, you don't need to do all of this and add my email or your email or the address or it's okay. Just focus on the task. It's really cute though. I like him. And lastly, my ADHD boy at 6B, he has his games. He understands instruction. Luckily, when he's redirected, he's not like gonna answer negatively to the teacher. He understands that he's disruptive, so he just sits back. Sometimes he gets frustrated, but that's it. I have him perform tasks that will get him occupied, like write notes on something or just reread something and explain to me. This is more detail of my class activity designs, as I mentioned before. I will attach the PPT to the Wix website so you can actually see it too. But for time purposes, I'll just go through the important parts like assessment. Um, the ninth grade boy, GA, gets a detailed rubric for writing, and speaking because he has a higher level and he has to be assessed in things other than the other kids like cohesion and coherence and proper use of vocabulary. Also, I observe him a lot during group work to make sure that he's socializing as much as the rest, or at least being as engaged in the task as the rest, because we can't ask him to just be chatty. Then in sixth grade A with MT, I assess him alone. Sometimes students need to work in pairs, but he is assessed alone because he has a lot of energy and he needs redirection. So for a 12-year-old that doesn't understand how he thinks, it can be a little frustrating. That was a little bit of a coexistent problem that was there. He is different in processing and working. So other students who want to work fast and they're at this age, like 12-year-olds, that they're starting to get their own personality and they have higher intelligence skills, they notice that he's different. So I had to make sure that he was included and that he was behaving properly or what are his triggers, for example. Then with the sixth grade B boy, CR, I evaluate him with a checklist and special part. He knows that I have this checklist because I sit right in front of him. He's one of the chattiest boys. He sits in the front table and he knows when I cross out things or when I check things in the checklist. So he thinks that he's sneaky and he's looking at the paper sheet, but I know that he's doing it. So it's like a non-communication thing. And I also give him extra tasks sometimes. So instead of having him do coloring like the sixth grade A kid does, who is a little bit more childlike, I have him draw pictures because he likes drawing or um, making up stories to then tell to me, things like those. Here are the instruments, the analysis, yada yada. As we present our rubrics to our students. Like here's the rubric I will use to evaluate you. So the student from sixth grade A, the MT, he's more kid-like because he has autism and not ADHD. He's a little bit more emotional and talkative. He has much more involvement with the things that I do. He liked speaking to me a lot, so I explained to him the rubric itself. He had images and all. To tell him, okay, this is what you have to talk about. This is the way that you have to talk about it, and tell me or everything that you feel comfortable telling, etc. Because he's a really open boy. I don't need. I don't have to tell him to speak. He does. With the autistic kid from ninth grade, the older boy. He, of course, is evaluated through CEFR expectations because of the Cambridge training thing, but he's evaluated alongside with the students that have a higher level, and those are evaluated with FCE standards, just like another student would. Checklists were mostly for my 6th grade B student with ADHD because they are easier to check, knowing that he's more unpredictable than the other boys. And that's about it. I believe I mentioned the other stuff before, and I'm way past time again. So thank you so much for checking this. And yeah, feel free to check the, what did I say? The PowerPoint presentation. I mean the camera right next to this video link. Bye.